now we come to say WRSA accounts.
Yeah, Barve sir, 1 minute. We have with us Mr. Marchand, a very stalwart and experienced person from the Deloitte. Sir, we welcome your presence, and I will definitely request you for your thoughts also on these matters, sir. You are already working hard on this reform matters, and your presence is highly beneficial for all of us. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as far as now this WRSC, the meeting has been planned on 8 September at 9 a.m. Now, clearly, if we see the WRSC timings on the website, it is 9:45 to 5:30. So obviously, before your own office timing starts, how can you hold a meeting at 9 o'clock? It has to be during the office hours at least. The second portion, which goes there for by logic, is there are 3 members from 3 states are covered. So it is not possible for members in 3 different states to appear for the AGM at say 9 a.m. in the morning. So members do send queries in writing asking for clarifications, and unfortunately the clarifications are not being given. Now, there is no agenda item as regards confirmation of the minutes of last AGM. Now, what is the process of confirmation of the minutes? Because when I had gone under RTI Act asking for information, I was told that these minutes are only noted and not confirmed. Now, when they are noted, by whom they are noted, who is the authority to note them, and what is the procedure? No information is being made available. Please send me recorded copy of web meeting and copy of approved draft minutes. Now, those are, as I said, not being given. In fact, once the reply was given that the minutes are under finalization and therefore the recorded copy of the minutes, the recorded copy of the meeting cannot be given. Subsequently, I went into appeal, and then it has been told now that the meeting has not been recorded at all. So there is no question of giving the recording. It's so funny. The next activity, the next item which is there and on which we are inquiring is permissibility of CSR, corporate social responsibility activities. Like, which are the sections of the Act, regulations under the CA regulations, which are allowing the expenses for stationery kits to students, tree plantation, blood donations, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. What are these activities? The Act clearly defines that the Act has been formed for the regulation of profession of chartered accountants. If I see the functions of the council, if I see the functions of the regional council, if I see the functions of the managing committee of branches, if I see the Act and regulations, I could not locate any provision that can allow such sort of expenditure. The second is internal audit reports. So we have asked the information about what are the adverse remarks or suggestions for improvements, if any, made by the internal auditors. Give us a copy of the internal audit reports. Now, another interesting thing, seminar activity. If we see for this seminar activity, there was a deficit on this activity in 1819 of 50 lakhs. In 1920, there was a deficit of 50 lakhs. Again, in the year 2021, there is a surplus of 2 crores. So, really, if so much surplus of 2 crores of rupees is going to be there on the activities, probably it may be on account of web meetings, etc. But then, is it warranted to make profits on the seminars to the extent of 2 crores of rupees? Then why not offer them the programs at much discount rates to the members? Similarly, there is another regulation 198 which I have spoken earlier, the report on budget versus actual, and the auditor has to report on the budget and what are the variations. So that data has in annual report, there is an interesting statement. we have seen that WIRC has given awards to 21 branches. Now I also checked how many branches are there. So branches are 35. So it means 21 branches are given awards, special awards of WIRC out of 35 branches. Now one wonders that is it right to give awards to such a large number of branches? Now another issue which we have asked is there are 36 committees in the WIRC which has been reported in the annual report. So if there are 36 committees and there are committees like management accounting committee and grievance committee, now what sort of activities they have undertaken, and which committee addresses the issue of non-replies to members? If the grievance committee is looking into it, because I have many emails on various matters which have not been replied. So then which is the committee? If there are 36 committees, then which committee at least looks into the activity of replying to the members about when they ask for certain clarification? Another interesting thing, there is a bank balance of 1 crore 22 lakhs lying uninvested at the year end date, and the bank is Kotak Mahindra Bank Limited. Now there is a provision that the ICAI head office has to sanction the particular bank where the accounts can be opened and where such large money can be kept. So we have asked whether this ICAI HO has allowed the money to be kept with private bank like Kotak Mahindra Bank Limited. There is another interesting thing. There is a accounting policy mentioned for impairment of assets, that such a impairment is ascertained in such a way and all that. But if we see the auditor's report, they have mentioned that the impairment provision will be made by HO. Now, if that is to be made by HO, then why accounting policy is to be mentioned in the books when that issue is not to be covered by the regional council at all? Now, now this is an issue where really the members have to take up the issue. I have already taken up that issue with the branch, with the regional council. Now, the presentation of the financial statements, if we see the presentation, say for a branch, the remark is given format of presentation of financial statements, balance sheet, income and expenditure account is as generated from online tally. Now that is sort of note which is given by one branch. So as in more or less in the same fashion, the WIRC accounts have been presented, like as generated from online tally as reported by the branch. Now, what sort of presentation we are making? The auditors are certifying that the presentation is fair. The presentation is as per the Chartered Accountants Act and regulations. Now, what sort of presentation? There are no details of reserves given. There are no details of earmarked funds given. In fact, on income side, there is a huge income which is mentioned under the category inter-unit balances. Now, because I had been reading the balance sheets or the statements for last few years, I could make out that it must be given. But inter-unit balances, can it be an atom of income in the income and expenditure account? And when the auditors are certifying and the management is certifying that the accounts are prepared as per the CA Act and they have ensured that there is a fair presentation, what sort of fair presentation we are making? There is an effective publication by WIRC which says model financial statements for non-corporate entities. So they themselves have published what should be the model financial statements. The way in which the financial statements are presented, they are not in that format, and they are also not as prescribed under the CE Act, because already a reply has been given under RTI Act that no such format has been prescribed by the regulations. Similarly, the ICAI HO accounts, and as mentioned in the provisions of Act and regulations, the statements have to be balance sheet, income and expenditure, and cash flow statement. If we see WRC accounts, there is no cash flow statement attached to the financial statements. Now, there are other some issues. One of them relates to the accounting treatment issue. There is a note that out of total depreciation of say 16 lakhs, the written down value of assets retired from active use is 1,46,000. The asset value is taken out from the fixed asset schedule. Now, if certain assets are retired from the active use, the disclosure in the accounts would be cost to be deleted from the accumulated cost, and depreciation accumulated will be reduced from the accumulated depreciation. How can the net written down value of retired assets be adjusted to the depreciation column for the year? This clearly is an accounting issue, and we really have to ask what sort of accounting treatment is being given to such items. Now, if we see 1819 accounts for WRC, we will find there is no fixed asset schedule has not been given itself. So there is no fixed asset schedule given in 1819. Now, if we look to the earmarked fund and investment, in one of the years, there was a note that so much interest has been received on the earmarked funds, and the earmarked fund balance had gone up exactly to the extent of the interest earned. So does it mean that there was no expenditure at all from any of the earmarked funds, because the only interest credit is there in the earmarked funds? Now, though you don't have details also of earmarked funds, there are no details about how much interest has been given on earmarked funds. Now, this is clearly the investment standard. There is a standard on investment where certain disclosures have to be made. Now, in the 2021 accounts, you will find there is no mention even about how much interest has been credited to the earmarked funds. Now, again, the issue about the segment reporting, as I said, on one hand, before the courts, this stand has been taken that student teaching activity is our main activity and governance or regulation of profession is ancillary activity. While in reporting, in segment reporting, we are not treating students' activities as a business segment, which should be. Now, again, there is a direction that the fixed assets have to be verified every year and the shortages have to be accounted for. But this item has not been mentioned at all in the 2021 financial statements. So this is a very important item about the fixed asset verification and the shortages ascertainment and their treatment in accounts. I'm not finding it in the financial statements. Now there is another interesting note which says there is a note on page 18 that depreciation on software is provided at 33.33%, etc. Purchase of online webinar subscription is expensed out over the period of that subscription. Now, whether the purchase of online webinar subscription, as it has been mentioned in the policy on depreciation, does it mean that we are treating it as an asset category? Certain online webinar subscription paid, can it be an asset item? Because the policy is given under the fixed assets. Now there is another interesting thing on disclosures. There are credit balance on receivables account, and such credit balances on receivable accounts are not shown as liability on the liability side. The credit balances on say sundry debtors or receivables should go to the liability side, and there has to be gross debits and gross credits need to be reflected separately, both in terms of receivables and payables. So if we see the financial statements, you will find that there are certain debit balances on the liability accounts and certain credit balances on asset accounts which are shown not in on gross basis at different sites. This I have already mentioned that grants are not disclosed properly. In fact, there is a heading given interhead balances IE 51 on income side, which is 2 crore 18 lakhs. Now on income side, in income and expenditure account, how can we show an item as interhead balances, which I think it is the grant and not inter-unit balances. So no explanation has been given as to what different types of grants have been made available to the regional councils. Because unless we know what sort of grants are available, we cannot really ascertain whether the proper income has been accounted for or not. Now, there is another interesting thing. There is an expense item for previous year as eligible GST input credit reversal by head office pertaining to reconciliation for 3 years 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20 done by HO on 1st April 20. Now the accounts are 2021. That all expense as is accounted for as expense relating to earlier year in 2021. But when it was made on 1st April 2020. It means 1920 accounts were not finalized on 1st April 20. They were finalized by end April. So this information was known in the earlier year. Now, if the event has occurred after the balance sheet date, but if it has significant influence on the earlier year's figure, then the adjustment has to be made in the appropriate year. Similarly, again, the research expenditure, although the committee are there, activities are mentioned, the research expenditure has not been shown separately. Then there are certain other probable errors, again in the depreciation and fixed asset depreciation schedules, which I have pointed out. Now there can be a regrouping problem because there is a liability head of account as regional intra-unit, and the balance is huge in the current year and nil balance in the last year. Now there would always be balances on inter-unit or intra-unit in case of regional council. So how it can be nil last year? So it means there must have been some sort of regrouping problems. The another item, there is a remark on page 18 of revenue recognition that income from sponsorship is accounted for on the basis on which it is earned. Now there is no head of account as sponsorship in the books on the financial statements. So really where that sponsorship has been received and how much it is and where it is reflected, because there is policy but that item is not appearing anywhere in the financial statements. Again, if we see the liability side, there is capital grant, which there is an increase in the capital grant. It means the capital grant has been received. So the capital grant, there is a receipt of capital grant, but there is no utilization of that capital grant. So if it has been received for some expenditure in earlier years, then why it was not provided on accrual basis? Now there are various other items which raise certain issues. Now, only one item which is important is if we see the WRC accounts in 1819, there was an expenditure item of 1 crore 57 lakhs relating to earlier years. So, because of this expenditure item of earlier years of 1 crore 57 lakhs, the result showed much deficit. In the earlier year, so during 1920, there was write back again of exceptional items, 1 crore 75 lakhs. So in 1 year, it is the expenditure item of 1 crore 57 lakhs. In other year, it is an income item of 1 crore 75 lakhs, by which the complete financial picture results into loss or results into huge profits. Now, really, what sort of items are these, and why they were not accounted for in the respective years? This volume of like 1 crore 57 lakhs and 1 crore 75 lakhs, they are huge items, huge items. Now, how can we just go by the disclosure that they relate to earlier years? There is another item, and this needs the careful study. There is an item like publication stock. There are policies about proper physical verification of publication stocks, and it really runs into lakhs of rupees. So if we check from the various items appearing in the financial statements, if we check opening stock plus purchases plus minus closing stock, and if we compare them with the sales, we find that there is a huge difference. Say in 1 year, the publication stock has gone down by 86 lakhs, but publication income during the year is only 22 lakhs. Now, what happened if the stock has gone down by 86 lakhs and income is only 22 lakhs? What happened to such a huge amount? Who authorized write-off of such huge amount of losses? What is the process followed? Has it been reported to the committees? Has it come in the internal auditor's report? Yes, and the annual reports, just they have been attached just for giving the information. Now, look, why I have given all this is Manoj sir spoke to me and he said that it is necessary to discuss that there have been issues and the members are not getting the replies. Even under the RTI Act, one is not getting the proper replies. It is difficult for people outside Mumbai to come and attend that AGM at 9 a.m. in the morning. And how then the members will get to know the answers to their clarifications? Yes, this is all what I wanted to present. Unmesh sir will then definitely suggest what things can be done. I'm not touching those.
Thank you, sir. I would just like to ask one question. Sir, from where we can get this financial statement of WRC so that we can also be present in AGM and ask this type of questions in the AGM also?
So it is on the WRC website. You can see.
Okay. So we have to take a printout and then we have to take it with us in AGM to ask these questions, what happened and why this happened.
I have given a copy of this presentation also to Manoj sir.
Okay. No issue, sir. Thank you. I'm CA Rakesh Tulsian and in the think tank team, and we are looking forward all the members who are presented over here to attend the AGMs and give their comment on that platform.
Yeah. Thank you, Shashikant Barve sir, for your detailed analysis on the entire accounts of WRC or even previous years in comparison with previous years and current year accounts also. It's really a detailed study that you have done. So spare your time going through all this. Your experience shows in the entire discussion how every aspects have been dealt by you in a very detailed manner, including the notes to accounts or the connecting points, and in comparison with the previous year what they have shown and current year how they are giving the different treatments for the accounts. It's really an eye opener for all of us. I really appreciate your efforts on these things and efforts of others also.